So the video that I want to do today is reading some revenge stories that some survivors have sent to me. So if I don't read your story here in this video, fear not, I haven't deleted anything. I will make more videos on down the road, and I'll ask more questions and ask for different kinds of stories from you guys, throughout the year as we go along here, and we'll get to all that when we get there. Everything's anonymous. I'm just going to read the email verbatim to the best of my ability and share some other survivors' experiences that have been brave enough to share with me. And we'll just go on ahead and get into the first one here. The first one starts, "Hey Jess, I just want you to know how much I appreciate your content. Thanks 1,000,001. My revenge story is not too complex, but the narcissist made me go through the abuse cycle for years, making me think I was the problem, when in reality they're deceitful, lying, delusional, and acting shameless to hide their copious amounts of shame. They are walking contradictions. After I blocked the narcissist for disrespecting my love, and they had been devaluing me and ignoring me, I thought for something I did, I come to understand it's their control tactic, the narcissist starts stalking my social media and mirroring me like it's a heroin addiction and trying to hoover me back only to reject me. Eventually, years down the line, after deleting Instagram, I would privately journal some of my emotions on an old, pretty much hidden random cover photo on my Facebook. And I realized the narc was fucking stalking me to the degree that they had found it. So my revenge was stopping any form of contact, even the minor journaling. And now the narc is spiraling out of control. They look more deteriorating by the day because they can't feed off of my energy anymore. It's like she's a different person. She also monkey branched into a relationship with someone that she tried to get to match my attributes and doing things with him that she wanted to do with me to try to make me jealous. But I am not reacting, and that kills her. I'm moving on to avoid some social media. I don't have Instagram anymore. She even manages to find my Facebook after I change my URL. It's pathetic how prideful and self-destructive she is. The people who know her are her flying monkeys because they know how she's leaving the new supply. The new supply thinking he's winning when in reality he's getting drained day by day, and he is just an object to try to make me jealous. It's uncanny how accurately I've seen this before. Their relationship is based on calling each other bitches. She's his bitch, he's her bitch, quote unquote. I've seen this before in the past, and they got divorced. So that's why I just chuckle at this thought. I know that my good karma is coming around, and I also know that everything she posts on social media is deceit, smoke and mirrors, and that the best that she settled for is that downgrade. It's actually a narcissist player douchebag, super social try-hard alpha. I won't waste another breath on his burger-headed loserness anymore. That was a nice touch. But she has him under her thumb, and he's not aware of how much of a bottomless pit she is. Again, all her friends know that his only role is to try to make me feel some type of way, and she's losing because she's not getting any reaction from me. She feeds off of any form of reaction from me. That's how much I matter. Thanks again, Jess. God bless you. Sending much love and positivity your way. Your channel is by far in my top 3 narc awareness content pages. So thank you very much, Survivor, for sharing that story. I will jump into my next one here. Hey, Jess, I've been watching your content for a couple of years now, and I wanted to contribute to your channel as a way to give back. All your information that I absorbed helped me tremendously in my journey to healing. My ex-narcissist and I work together. We've been working together for about 5 years and had been good friends before anything happened. We work in law enforcement, and without giving too much away, he was the head of some prominent teams in our job. It was attractive and impressive to me. After I had left another relationship, he started approaching me, offering a comforting place to land. I had been in a vulnerable place, and therefore his kisses on my cheek and warm hugs were very intoxicating. I was never even interested in him sexually or romantically. However, he was very persistent. Over the years, he would ask, and if I said no, he would be passive-aggressive with me, and I felt bad I wasn't giving him a chance. Little did I know. When I gave in, I became absolutely infatuated with his attention. The chemistry was unlike anything I had ever experienced. He future faked. We bought each other food so we could eat meals together at work. He even asked me if I would do a major project with him in his department. I felt honored that he was considering me, saying I was talented, and encouraged me to bring out my talents. I was so obsessed with impressing him and making him happy that within 2 months, he seemed to have lost interest. I was offered another position out of the building in a couple of months that was temporary, and it was like as soon as he knew, he became quiet. He never broke anything off. Instead, he would pull away and wait for me to ask what was wrong, just so he could laugh at me, say that I was being crazy and thinking too much, and that nothing was wrong. His conversations with me were nothing but surface-level, boring topics that only interested him. And if I asked if he was okay or tried to encourage more conversation, he would just disappear. He acted annoyed when we were together, or he would cancel last minute on getting together, or just not even bother to show up. I even told him I was thinking of applying to his department, and he stated that my involvement in his department began and ended with the project that he asked me to do. I was being told I wasn't good enough for his department. I wasn't skilled or intelligent enough to be a part of it, and I needed to stick to my more creative and childish endeavors. I was being slow-faded, and my heart was shattering. I was gaining weight, and he would jokingly insult me by saying I needed to lose some pounds. I didn't know who I was dealing with anymore. One day he was very sweet and thoughtful. The next he would pass me in the hallway and act as though I didn't exist. It was devastating. He knew this would hurt me more than anything, and it did. The emotional toll it took on me almost stripped me of my authenticity. Every creative outlet I used to deal with trauma in my childhood was halted because he acted like it wasn't important or good enough for anyone to care about. I stopped posting on social media because I felt like no one cared about me. I hadn't been that low since my dad left when I was 10. I can't even explain the depth this person lowered me to. When I left our work for the placement, I started taking back control and learning about narcissism. I was in denial for a while, but when I noticed the cycle, I couldn't deny it anymore. He tried to hoover me, but if I responded, he wouldn't answer. Eventually, I just started to ignore him. I could tell it was frustrating him, but I knew I was on the right track. When I returned back to my work, I had to specifically deal with him in the first 2 weeks before returning to my post, as he trained new and seasoned recruits, and my training had to be recertified. My mission during my time away from him was basically to learn as much as I could about narcissism and control so that I could be the most prepared person in taking him down when the time came, because I knew he was going to continue hoovering me back as long as I would allow it. On my first day, he jokingly put me in a headlock. I almost allowed it, but remembered how much he hurt me, so I tried to lift his arm off of me, and instead, he struggled with me while I demanded 3 times for him to let go. Eventually, I threw him off, and I spent the entire day and the next 2 months pretending as though this person didn't exist. I would ignore him, position my body away from him while he was talking, avoided all eye contact, acted bored, anything I could do to show him he had no business being in my life anymore. I won't explain all the hoovers he did, but it was a lot. The following day, I was forced to talk to him privately, and I made it abundantly clear in few words I wasn't interested in talking to him anymore. And that was just one of the many hoovers that followed the first day. I could see from his body language, if we were in the same room and I didn't look at him or address him, others would note that he was depressing looking, sad, and not himself. After a couple of months, I was working and I saw him come in. I didn't want him to smear me, so I stupidly decided to be nice. He waved back at me enthusiastically. Later that day, I don't know why, but he put a new recruit in a headlock during a scenario for training, the same one he had put me in months prior. The recruit later filed paperwork for medical leave due to stress. As this man had traumatized her so much during the scenario, she didn't think she could handle the job. Shortly after, he was suspended for harassment. And what came out was he had also been harassing her for weeks, even before the incident, trying to convince her to go out with him while he was also trying to hoover me. I finally felt justice. I felt that everyone could see him for who he was. He had been building his name in this job for over 12 years, and only 2 months after I returned, he was suspended. It felt really powerful. And I'd also heard that he had done this with other recruits as well, and also has a girlfriend at home that no one even knew about. Also, just to add this, since he's been suspended, I applied for a position in his department, and I got it. I wish I could pay to see his reaction when he finds out. Thank you so much, and continue your channel. It's extremely beneficial for those who are still healing even years later. So I'm only going to read those couple of stories for today. Again, like I say, I thank you for all of the submissions. I didn't realize how many I was going to get, and I don't want to make this video too long. Like I say, I will work with all the other ones that I have in the future. If you want to send in a revenge story, it's narcstoriesforjess@gmail.com. I'll leave it down in the description. Like I say, I won't probably make another video like this for a little while, and I will ask all you guys some different questions on my community tab here on YouTube, and you guys can write in and tell different stories and different experiences. But I think it's really important I share my story, but none of you guys ever get to share anything that you go through. So I thought that maybe it would be nice to give all of you guys a voice, kind of using my own. So if you liked this video, of course, like it, subscribe if you haven't. Let me know. Let me know what you think about this kind of content. Not necessarily just revenge, but do you want to hear other stories from survivors? Does this make you feel better? Does this help you feel not so alone? Do you hate this? Do you not want to hear anything like this ever again? Let me know what you want to do. Of course, if you want to reach out to me, you can email BookAChatWithJess@gmail.com if you want to speak with me. You can also book online. It's just a couple simple clicks, and that link is down in the description for you. Thank you very much for listening. Have a great day, survivor. Take care of yourself. And thank you again to everyone who emailed. It really means a lot to me.